So, what is imposter syndrome, you might be asking yourself? A lot of people don't know what it is. And if I explain it to them or they look it up for themselves and look more into it, a lot of people say, this is something I felt. These are feelings that I've had. And they didn't realize that there was a name for it. Putting a name to it is actually the first step in learning how to deal with it and how to overcome it. You'd be surprised to learn that over 70% of individuals experience feelings of imposter syndrome during their lifetime. It is not uncommon, and it could affect anybody. It could affect any ethnicity, any gender. I'm talking anybody can have these feelings of being an imposter. I know I've had these feelings, so I'm sure you've had them at some point in your life. You over-practice, you over-rehearse, you over-research. You're always just trying to make sure that you have enough information and that you're prepared for whatever the thing is that you have to do. Feelings of guilt about success, you don't take positive feedback well. You just have a really hard time accepting the fact that you're good enough and that you actually earned whatever it is, whatever the award was, you actually earned it. Getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. That is one way to face imposter syndrome dead on and learn how to deal with it and how not to let it overcome everything else in your life. On today's show, we are going to be talking with a few special guests from the university. We have a faculty member, a staff member, and a couple of students, and they've all faced feelings of imposter syndrome during their lifetime. And they're going to talk with us a little bit about that and share some of their personal feelings and stories. And hopefully you will find this information helpful and relatable so that you don't feel alone when you encounter these feelings of being an imposter in your own life. Now let's take a moment to meet our guests.
So, my name is Victoria Perez, but I go by Tori. I'm a senior here studying biology pre-med with triple minor.
Hi, I'm Victoria Obregon. I'm the assistant director of the center. I am also the regional coordinator for the College Assistant Migrant Program and the support staff for the undocu students on campus.
I'm Dan McFadden. I'm a visiting assistant professor for the social work department. In August, I took over as a program coordinator.
So my name is Jose Chavez. I'm a third year student here at CSU Pueblo. I'm double majoring in mass communications and in Spanish.
Do you ever feel like an imposter in your own life?
I honestly feel that way frequently. I'll sit in my office to do my own schoolwork, and it still amazes me that here I am working on a doctorate degree. People are going to start calling me doctor, and that just... I have a hard time wrapping my head around that.
So in high school senior year, when everyone's applying to college, when everyone's doing the FAFSA, all of that necessary steps for college, it kind of felt like I was out of place. All of my friends, they knew how to apply. They knew that it cost money. They knew how to send their ACT, SAT scores, everything along those lines. However, this was a new experience for me and my family. So I felt not only just behind, but also kind of like an imposter because these are people that felt comfortable doing the necessary steps as I was barely learning.
A lot of my peers, they weren't first generation students. It was kind of a punch to the gut at first because, since the beginning, you're already an outsider, you're already different. I would deny it, I'd feel like, no, that's not me. I'm just, having a difficult time, like everyone else. But I was feeling imposter syndrome because I felt like I didn't belong, because of my background and because of what I came from and where I came from. So definitely acknowledging it is the first step because you can't make something better if you don't believe it's there.
Can you tell me about some programs or people who have assisted you with overcoming feelings of imposter syndrome?
I'm lucky because I have had those strong Latina mentors that have pushed me, that have put me to conferences. They're like, apply for this scholarship, I will help proofread this. Apply for grad school, I'm going to proofread your personal letter and help you with that.
The support I have from my wife, the support I have from my parents, encouraging me to continue moving forward.
There definitely was one person in middle school and high school growing up. Her name was Miss Gregory. I wouldn't say she's the only person that I'm going to give credit to, but she's the first person I'm going to give credit to because she was the first person to tell us to take college serious. You know?
I have several mentors that I lean on throughout my journey of education, and even in working at CSU Pueblo, just leaning on somebody else or just getting some advice or just taking some steam off sometimes when things get rough at work.
Can you tell me about a time when you've utilized your strengths to overcome feelings of imposter syndrome?
You know, it's easy for us to identify our weaknesses. A lot of times it's really difficult to identify what strengths we have. All the things that I've been through in life, being in the military, being in combat, all that kind of stuff, and surviving, making it through. So I know sometimes as hard as it is to get in front of students and talk and present and teach, it's not going to kill me.
So as a biology major, it's been pretty interesting of a ride. So science and math are my weakest subjects, ironically, and social sciences like writing, history are my strongest subjects. So understanding that I have the strength of completing my studies in a different way, of spending more time and allowing myself the time management and that effort to go through and be as good as my peers who this is their strengths or who find it easier and don't have to spend hours studying. I guess understanding that the process of me actually being as good as my peers who are naturally good in these subjects is a strength.
I really believe it's important to know that there is very great things about everybody, and one of those things I know I'm great at is teaching others.
I don't give up. I may seem really shy and quiet at first, but that doesn't mean that I give up easily. Those are mostly the people that are, working harder and working, more because they know that they don't feel like they're enough, so they definitely have to work twice as hard to feel like they're good enough. So I feel like that's definitely a good trait that I have.
Do you have any other advice that you would like to share with our viewers today?
Sometimes it is difficult to think ahead and what we can accomplish, but if we take small steps, we didn't wake up one day and just start running. We took little steps. We fell a few times, then we got back up, we continued on, and as we got older, we could run, we could do a lot of things.
So when I felt self-doubt or items like that and it's reoccurring, I do make a visit back to my counselor just to get readjusted, I say, or realigned, just like we would as a chiropractor. I need to get sometimes realigned by my counselor.
So this is actually really fitting. I do tutoring at the El Pueblo History Museum, and today I was tutoring one-on-one with with a student, not a potential student, but with a student. And so as I started talking to him more like, but college, and if not college, vocational school, expand your education, expand your learning. So as I was talking with him, telling him I can see you in college, I can see you going to vocational school and expanding on yourself. And I asked him, has everyone ever made you feel like you can't go to college? And I was met with silence. We need someone to push us. We need someone to tell us, you are smart, you can do this. And it feels like everyone else knows what they're doing, but they're learning just like us. I know I seem like I have my life together and I understand everything and it comes easily, but no, I have to work for it. And that's something that they don't see. And we will face those struggles along the way, but the difference is we can't let those struggles stop us, especially when we owe our education, this opportunities, to the work of our families, to the sacrifices of our ancestors to give us this opportunities that we currently have.
Thank you so much for tuning in today to watch Pack Talk, and we will talk with you more next time.